Hello there and welcome back to another landscape photography adventure. Today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to get incredibly sharp, pin sharp images with your landscape photography. I've been asked a couple of times recently, how do I get my images to be so sharp? And it's quite simple really. Follow these 5 tips, five tips, and you will get pin sharp images. Join me shortly and we're going to come and explore this place, the beautiful Shrawley Woods. Just look at this, just a sea of blue, looks beautiful. So today we've come out to these beautiful woods. It is just a big massive blue carpet today, and I'm hoping, well, I'm going to have a few hours here and I'm hoping to be able to find a few nice little compositions while I talk to you about these 5 tips. Tip number 1 is when you're holding handheld. The biggest thing people get wrong with handheld photographs, the shutter speed is too slow. Simple as that. Don't be scared to bump up your ISO or even set auto ISO. When I'm handheld, I tend to shoot in aperture priority, so I can set the aperture that I want just for the sharpest images that I can get. And I will also set the ISO and let the camera adjust shutter speed accordingly. And as long as your shutter speed, there's a little rule, it's 1 over the focal length that you're using. So let's say you're using a 50mm lens. Betsy, stop that. If your shutter speed is a 50th of a second or faster, you will get sharp images. And to achieve this, you may have to just push your ISO. You can either set your ISO to whatever, 400 a second, 400 ISO, 250, whatever, or you can put it on auto ISO and let the camera sort it out for you, and you will get pin sharp images. But the thing to remember is you must have a shutter speed at least, if not double really, the focal length that you're using, and you will eliminate any hand movement, any motion blur, anything, any movement from you or any shake doing that. Join me shortly. I'm going to try and find a little composition somewhere around here. Let me just turn you around slowly. Just look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Join me somewhere and we can get our second tip and try and line up a beautiful composition. So, tip number 2. And tip number 2 involves the use of a tripod. To maximise your sharpness and camera shake, to minimise your camera shake I should say, if you can use a tripod, you will get, just by using a tripod, you will get pin sharp images every time. Again, make sure the tripod is opened up and on the ground. Don't hold it on its legs and just take a shot because it will move. Put the tripod flat on the ground, make sure it is sturdy, and you will be amazed how many images you get that are pin sharp. Tip number 3 also applies to using the tripod. Also use with it a 2-second or 10-second timer. If you have a cable release, use that, or set the in camera 2-second or 10-second timer, and you will then press the shutter button, give the camera and the tripod time to settle, because as you press the button you will get movement. That 2-second timer will just stop any movement at all, and the image will be pin sharp, absolutely pin sharp. I'm now going to line up a little shot here with this. Hello, you all right? We've got a couple of logs that I'm going to try and incorporate into leading lines looking up into the bluebells. It looks absolutely beautiful. If this shot does turn out any good, I'll put it on for you right now to have a look at. I wish I had a bit of light. It is quite cloudy today and flat light, so yeah. Drop me a thought, drop me a comment on your thoughts with this image, and if you like it, give me a big thumbs up. So what did you think of that shot? Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. I'm now going to have a wander off over this way and try and line a few shots up there. We have got some ferns coming through, so hopefully I can get a couple of big fern leaves as foreground attraction. It looks beautiful. This place goes on. This is actually, all these trees are lime trees, small leaf limes. I was talking to a ranger last year, and these woods go down to the river. They go for miles, these woods do. It is the largest lime forest in the country. Absolutely beautiful. Shrawley Woods in Worcestershire. Just incredible. I'm going to have a walk over and I'll do a little bit of footage with the GoPro and show you just how pretty these are. They look spectacular, absolutely spectacular. I love it here. So tip number four is something that I do all the time, and it is, I'll set up the camera on live view on the back of the, so you can see the back of the screen, and what I do is I tend to press the zoom button and zoom in to 100%, focus on somewhere that I think I want focused on in the image, zoom in 100%, and then just manually just turn the focusing dial on the lens and see if you can get it a little tiny bit sharper. If you can, then your camera probably needs to go in for a service and get calibrated, your autofocus points calibrated. You can always tell a good calibrated camera when you try this method. The autofocus will be as good as the best that you can get with your eyes on the back of the screen. So I do get my camera serviced quite regular, and I do know that the focal points are all accurate, but I still tend to, my cameras get knocked about a lot. Just the nature of what I do, I'm out everywhere. I trip up things, like, you know, there's bits of wood everywhere down here, and my stuff just get thrown all over the place. I was in Scotland a couple of weeks back. A video 2 weeks ago, I was at a cottage in Glencoe Pass, and walking back up towards the car, I tripped over and I went straight on my ass and threw the camera on the tripod. So luckily no damage, but I haven't had a chance to take it in yet to get checked over and serviced. So I will show you the back of the camera, and I'll show you what I do to try and make sure that I have got the best focal point and the best sharpness when I'm focusing that I can get. Let me just show the back of the camera. So the way I do this, I'll focus literally on that log there. I'm now going to punch in the zoom button to 100%. As you can see, it does look focused. So now just gently rock the focus ring on the lens, and you'll see it go out of focus, come back in, go out again. Get to a point where you think it is absolutely spot on. Hit your focal button again. If it holds that focus, you know, especially if it's green, your focal points and your autofocus is working correctly. You can then zoom back out and take the shot. This place is absolutely beautiful. Betsy's loving it. She's loving all the scents, all the moist and everything that's in here. The composition's absolutely everywhere to be had. There are tons and tons of fallen limbs. Let me just turn you around here. There's a lot of wood on the ground, dead wood on the ground. Just look at this. Absolutely, just beautiful. So, tip number 5, my 5th tip, and this is learn your lens. And most lenses have a sweet spot where you get the minimum amount of diffraction and you'll get maximum sharpness. It is usually a couple of stops opened up. So let's say you've got a lens that is f2.8. You come down to around f5.6, 6.3 to f8, you're going to be in your peak of sharpness there. If you have an f4 lens, it's usually f8 to f11. Your lens will be at its sharpest. Take some images and start off at your lowest ISO, f2.8, wide open, see how sharp the image is, then close down, one stop at a time, f4, f6.3, f8, f11, take shots, f16 if you want to as well, and zoom right in and just see which aperture has got the sharpest and the most detail in your photographs. You'll be amazed. It is usually somewhere around f8. If you tend to get f8 as a starting point, your images will be pin sharp at f8. You may need to just open up a little bit, especially if you've got a big depth of field like this. What I'd normally shoot here is f11, although you're starting to go a little bit on the soft side because you're going past the sweet spot. The trade-off is depth of field, which is what I want with this, especially this little shot here. Let me just show you the shot I'm going to take now. It's this limb just coming off in front. That will also get this sharp or acceptably sharp and a good depth of field with all the bluebells behind. So just to cover everything, I'm going to take a shot of this shot of that tree. I've got both images there, and if I need to focus stack, I can. If I can get away with either one of them, then I've got the image anyway. So yeah, learn your lens and take some shots and see where your lens is at its sharpest. Usually somewhere f6.3, f8. You can stretch out to f11 if you want good depth of field, which most of my images, I'm after that depth of field because it's landscape photography. So yeah, learn your lens, take loads of photographs at different apertures and just see what your lens will actually do. Tip number 5, I'm going to get this shot and I'll put this on for you now to have a look at. If you're new to the channel or if you haven't subscribed yet already, please consider subscribing. Your support really is appreciated. I'm going to carry on having a little walk around because I'm just loving it in here. Catch me in a minute and we're on a little wander somewhere and I'll get a bit of footage on the GoPro just to show you just how beautiful this place is. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. I think that's me done in here. I'm absolutely just loving this. The bluebells are just beautiful. The smell, oh, I'm loving the smell. It is just absolutely incredible. I think it's time for a cup of tea. So please check out all the links below in the description. There's links to all the gear that I use. There's a link to my sister and brother-in-law's guest house on the Isle of Mull if you fancy the Isle of Mull. There's also links at the bottom of the description to my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. If you fancy adding me on there, please feel free. Betsy's after a bee now, or a wasp. Betsy, get out of there. I think I found a little bee's nest. Yeah, there's bees flying about. Please add me on social media if you fancy it. I do post occasionally where I'm going. I almost posted this morning, I was coming here, but it was a bit late. I thought I didn't really give people much chance to get here in time, so I haven't. But if you fancy it, fancy coming here for some photos one day, please just drop me a comment and I'll gladly meet you there and we can have a little walk around and get some photographs. Yeah, please subscribe. Your support really is appreciated. I'll drop the photos on again now for you to have a look at. Please use these tips, these 5 tips. They will help you to get absolutely pin sharp images. It is just simple things that can help, little things that can help, and they will make a massive difference to you, especially using a tripod. Please get a tripod for landscape photography and use it. There are times where it's a bit too windy or whatever and you can't use it there. Then you need to handheld, but just make sure that your shutter speed is fast enough to eliminate any movement that you may have. So yeah, anyway, enjoy these images and I'll catch you next time on our next little adventure. Me and my little mate over here digging again. Bets, come here, come here. Yeah, enjoy and I'll catch you soon on the next landscape photography adventure.